What's up, everyone? It's Nev the Man Films here, and it's been a while. It's been a minute since I've done one of these videos where I just talk. Over the past few, I'd say years, you haven't really seen any videos like this. Usually because I think these videos are pretty boring, but I think it was time that I do, a video where it's just talking to sort of explain everything that's going on. So, as you know, I recently released Product 126, which was a short film about androids. And right now I'm making the sequel, although you don't need to watch the first movie to understand the sequel. Kind of wrote it in that way. There's a squirrel over there. So filming for Recall 126 has been really quite slow, to be honest. I film at a rate about once a month, so that's awesome. Yeah, it's scheduling is just the worst of it, to be honest. So Recall 126 is going to release. I'm gonna say the next 2 to 3 months. I would like to release it in October, because that's sort of when the idea for this whole sort of saga was born. A lot of you, I've never really talked about Product 126 or Recall 126, or Time is Ogre, or really any of those movies. So I'll start with Time is Ogre. Time is Ogre was not exactly a project I was super passionate about. It was just kind of a commitment thing. I said I would make it in 8th grade, and me and some dudes did. Then Product 126 was a labor of love. And Recall 126 is even more of a labor of love. Right now I just entered college, left high school. High school sucked, and I pity all of you that are still in high school. I mean, it sucks. Frankly, it does. Yeah, so the whole idea behind Product 126 was, so basically I watched Blade Runner. I think it was where it all started. I watched both of the movies, and I was like, it would be cool if I just cloned myself. I made a movie about a guy who just cloned himself, because I started messing around with this camera trick, and you can see that in some of my older videos. And that sort of gave birth to the idea. This video is kind of going to be rambling because I didn't really plan it out very well. So let's get back to let's talk about Recall 126. So I hope to release a trailer in the near future. I started working on it right now. I kind of just started gathering all the footage I wanted to use for it. But yeah, making a movie is very fun. It's very rewarding, very fulfilling. I like doing it. It's a lot. My content has sort of evolved, if you haven't noticed. I used to do, Fortnite videos and videos of me shouting people out. I don't really do that anymore. That was just kind of a thing I did to, get people to like me, I guess, because people were like, can I have a shout out? But that was in 8th grade and part of freshman year. So, yeah, that was a long time ago. I mean, damn, I have not done a talking video in so long. There's a bone on the ground right there. So, here's why I'm here, though. I came here, for one, to film here, and second of all, I wanted to scout out a location for Recall 126. Now, I've already wanted to use this area, but, I was just going through here, sort of planning out some shots, this shot would be here, this shot would be here. Yeah, I'd like to film this one day, probably when I'm 40, judging by how this movie progresses. No, but actually, seriously, I'll be positive, alright? Next month, the month after, I'd like to finish filming. Like I said, worst part about filming a movie is scheduling. Scheduling sucks. So here's what happens. So this is what I did every single week for months. I'd be like, hey, yo, you good? Yeah, yeah, you guys good to film? And then one guy would be like, oh yeah, I'm free on these days. And this other guy's like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm not free at all on any of those days. He'd be like, oh, try again next week. And just rinse and repeat. And one in every 4 times you do that. I haven't really done the math, but that's just my estimate. You have success, and you manage to film. And usually you manage to only film half of what you plan. I wouldn't say that's true for some of the stuff I've done, but a lot of cases, you can't really, you often, filming always goes slower than you expect. I think it's honestly good to plan as much as possible. That way, if you just plan one thing, you're gonna go even slower on that one thing, and you might even not finish that first thing, because, there's not as much pressure on you. If you're wondering what kind of equipment I use, right now I am using I just have an iPhone, and it has a microphone hooked up to it. That's basically my entire setup. I also have a camcorder. Also got the tripod that it's sitting on right now as well. In terms of future plans, well, let's just say once the cars pass by, let's just say that the Nev the Man Films cinematic universe, it'll be expanding in these next few years. It will be expanding. I am not going to stop. All right, my whole idea behind this whole operation is just to keep making movies, and that's what I'm gonna do. All right, just any advice out there to like any artist who's out there and like they have like an idea that they want to make, they want to work on something. Just go out there and make it, because most people don't really, they don't really act on their ambitions. They just kind of sit there and just do nothing. I feel like most people these days just do nothing because they're like, well, I'm not cut out for this. I'm just gonna work my shitty job, and just live an unsatisfying life. You can't do that. You gotta like do stuff with your life, because God has given you gifts, and you have to use your gifts. Okay? Let me tell you something. All human beings have a potential within them. A potential to do more with themselves. A potential to use the gifts that they have. Now, everyone's gifts, are different, Some people are good at this, some people are good at that, it's your life sort of pans out in a way that causes you to be sort of predisposed towards certain things. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. All I can say is that take action, alright? Because inaction, listen man, listen. If any of you ever seen The Shawshank Redemption, alright? Andy Dufresne, the main character, alright? He is a man of action. He escapes that prison. He digs that tunnel, alright? And he goes out to freedom. He goes out to Mexico, and he achieves his vision, And we all gotta start digging our Shawshank tunnel, alright? We all gotta start digging that tunnel. Because if you don't, you will die in Shawshank prison. This is just a peaceful spot to sit in, Like, you're just sort of out here, other than the sound of the cars, like, it's a nice spot. Like, no one knows you're here. It's nice, it's peaceful. It's, the only people that know that you're here are deer. And deer aren't even really people. Deer are chill, I like deer. Deer are pretty cool. Who doesn't love deer? A lot of people don't, actually. I like to draw deer, though. Drawing deer is pretty fun, not gonna lie. If any of you have seen my stop motion intro for Product 126, you'll know that there's a deer in that. Honestly, I'm so glad that I could make this movie, that I could make Product 126, and that I could continue my vision with Recall 126. By the way, After Recall 126, the 126 saga, in the 2 films and the 1 short story that I wrote in creative writing class, that the extent of the 126 universe, it'll be over. Pretty much, it'll be over. You know, that's it. You know, there's not really room for a 3rd installment. It's not a trilogy. I also kind of want to move on with my life to other things. By the way, here's a little bit of a plug. Go follow the Walensky Corporation on Instagram, if you have Instagram, it is. The Walensky Corporation, that big old corporation that makes androids, has decided to join Instagram, and they're already posted right now. They got 3 posts. One of them got taken down because of a typo, but that post will be back soon. There's so many cars, though. There's so many cars. It's crazy. It's crazy. I have another important message for you right now. This is important. This is just about life in general. Alright? Without the cars, listen to that. Hear that? That's the sound of nature. Let me tell you something right now. If you're sitting there on your phone or on your computer or on your TV, just go outside. I don't care if it's like 2 a.m. Just go walk outside and listen to the symphony of the evening or day. Look at all these crickets. They're singing for you. The world is beautiful, alright? So you gotta put yourself out there into the world, okay? Are there footsteps? I don't know. Maybe there's a deer listening to what I'm saying. And the deer's like, I agree, you know? Okay, my final message to you is this. Get out there in the world, alright? The world, it does kind of suck. You might say it, alright? You know, it does kind of suck, you know? You turn on the TV. You see division everywhere. You see these 2 sides. You know, if you live in America, I'm assuming most of my fan base, they live in America, you know. And there's these 2 sides, you know. You know, the left and the right, you know, constantly war, you know, constantly division. You just gotta. The world is, it's a hateful place. And everyone hates each other now, but you gotta set that aside. You gotta realize that there are beautiful things in this world. As Andy Dufresne said, there are places in this world that aren't made out of stone. There's something inside that they can't touch. Alright? Hope. They can't take that away from you, alright? Just get out there. Start digging that tunnel out of Shawshank Prison. Get out there into the beautiful part of the world, alright? You have a body. You have a mind, alright? Stop wasting it. Stop wasting. Stop wasting yourself, okay? You don't live that long. For all I know, I could walk that way and a frickin' serial killer rapist could knock me out with a rock and murder me. And rape me. You know? So like you could die at any time. So you gotta take action. Alright? So yeah. That's all I gotta say. Start building your Shawshank Tunnel. Recall 126 coming soon. Trailer coming even sooner. I just fell on my knee. Some guy drew a penis right there. Holy. Honestly, get more creative. I mean, this person at least drew a dinosaur. I mean, this guy drew just a penis. You know, I'm proud of the fact that I've never drawn a penis in my entire life. You know, I really gotta get out of nature, you know? Sometimes people will forget that's an option. They sit there in their cold, dark rooms watching the news, too focused on just one aspect of the world. They forget that there are parts of the world that are so good. Into the darkness we go, boys. Or girls. You know, there might be some girls who watch this content. I don't really know. Last time I checked, it was like 80% males. I don't really know. Anyone like to explore tunnels? I like tunnels. Tunnels are pretty cool, you know. Now it's time for the fun part of leaving the creek, which always looks a little weird because I'm like coming out of the woods and there are cars passing by. Like, why is there a dude coming out of the woods? So yeah, I just gotta get this over with. All right, boys, here we go. Oh shit, book bags getting caught and stuff. We made it, we made it, we made it, we made it. There's a car. There's a car passing by. Hey, what's up? Just walking on a place with no sidewalk.